Hello, and welcome to SCI Direct, the parent company to 6 compassionate brands of pre-need cremation services offered nationwide. Featured in this demonstration video is one of SCI Direct's original brands, National Cremation Society. Regardless of pre-need brand, this demonstration video was designed to prepare all of you for the pre-need seminar presentation. Today, we will go through the natural progression of a clear and compelling presentation, as well as demonstrate how to effectively use the new and improved PowerPoint tool during your seminar. Your goal throughout the entire presentation is to inspire your participants to schedule a follow-up visit with you in order to complete their pre-need plan. However, if you do happen to sell a pre-need plan at the seminar, congratulations! That means you have mastered the delivery of our core message. Remember, this is a subject that most people are not used to thinking about, let alone talking about. Therefore, it is important to be warm and respectful, but at the same time, firm and confident in your approach. And this PowerPoint tool is designed to help you do just that. Before we get started, here is a bit of insight to consider throughout the delivery of your presentation. Studies show that persuasive presenters first connect with their audience emotionally. Only when the audience is emotionally engaged do they attempt to convey factual material such as company information, industry statistics, and disposition options.
If you wouldn't mind, please take a look, find your name tag on the table. That's where you'll be seated.
Let's begin. As soon as everybody is settled in, introduce yourself, sharing that you are a state-licensed, certified pre-need advisor, as well as how long you have been with the company.
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Knapp and I'm a state-licensed, certified pre-need advisor for National Cremation Society and have been with the company for 5 years. I'd like to mention that as a representative of National Cremation Society, I am held to strict professional and ethical standards. I have also been through rigorous training to ensure I provide you with the best possible service. Quite frankly, that's why I chose to work for NCS. I just know I am in good company. And by sharing this with you right up front, I am hoping this relieves any concern you may have about me or the company I represent.
To build extra rapport with your audience, share a fun fact about yourself, and then ask the audience to do the same. Have fun with this, but also make sure to pay attention to their responses. Doing so will give you an opportunity to discern the differing personalities of your audience. After introductions, your audience is most likely wondering when they will have lunch and if they will be pressured to buy anything. This slide was created to address those perceptions so they are open to the ideas and information you are about to deliver.
Our company is all about transparency, so I just want to put all of the expectations up front. After my presentation, we are going to buy you a delicious lunch. The presentation will take about 30 minutes depending on our group dynamic. And at the end of the presentation, I am not going to ask you to buy a single thing. Purchase obligation is not our style. But I will ask you for a personalized follow-up visit so we can talk privately about your individual needs. I do have one request of all of you. If you have any questions, please write them down in the back of your evaluation sheet, and I will be happy to answer them for you one-on-one. How does that sound? Fair enough?
Sounds good to us.
Us as well.
Now, I know better than anyone this isn't a cheerful topic, but I am here to help. And even though the decision to prearrange is yours to make, this decision isn't just for you. In fact, it is primarily a gift you give your loved ones, one that relieves them from pain and stress in the midst of a trying time. Not only does a pre-need plan empower you to make decisions about what you want and don't want, but it also ensures the cost won't change, ever. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this topic, and that's because I have been through this myself.
After the agenda, you will want to share your brief yet passionate personal story. Your story will personalize your presentation and create common ground, demonstrating that you can relate to your audience's desires and/or concerns regarding final arrangements. But more importantly, it's meant to inspire your participants to share their own story. As such, it is crucial you encourage your audience by asking, Does anybody have a similar story to share?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here, of course, to talk with you about a pre-need cremation plan. Believe me, it's not our favorite subject either, but today, before the wave of emotion washes over your own family, you can take just a few practical and loving steps to prevent all of this.
At this point of your presentation, your audience may perceive more value in the free lunch than following through with a personalized in-home visit. Therefore, your goal is to inspire a new perception and eliminate audience procrastination right off the bat. You do so by invoking strong emotions, supported with logic, of course, which is the exact purpose of the following power statement.
Certainly, we can all agree that the reality of your own passing and what it will feel like for your loved ones is very difficult to imagine. Shock, disbelief, confusion. These are all likely reactions to the sudden death of a loved one. What on earth will they do? Have you even prepared them?
You must build on the power statement by quickly and effectively acting out a very emotional, real-life scenario with a willing couple in your audience. In doing so, your audience will naturally assimilate themselves as they listen along.
If you don't mind, folks, let's dig a little deeper. Mr. and Mrs. Brown, for the benefit of the entire group, will you assist me in a little bit of role-playing?
Well, sure, why not?
The goal here is to get your audience to access the theater of their own minds, so be sure to adjust the speed, tone, and pitch of your voice. Start with your role-playing couple. Make sure you gently position them facing each other for added visualization.
Lillian, what would you do right now if Bill suddenly grabbed his chest, fell from his chair, and his heart stopped before he dropped to the floor? Let's all think about that for a second. Most likely, you'll panic. Your mind will go completely blank. Then you will call 911 and follow the ambulance to the hospital, on your own, mind you, only to face the inevitable. Bill is gone. Your thoughts are still racing, and without wasting any time, the hospital staff will ask you about Bill's final arrangements. Who, what, where, when, and how are you going to take care of all of this? Where will we even start? The yellow pages, perhaps?
Return to face your entire audience and take a quick scan of their body language and facial expressions. While making genuine eye contact, lower your voice and say,
On the worst day of their lives, do you think your loved ones will be prepared to answer such emotional questions and make such difficult decisions regarding your funeral arrangements? Now do you see why it is so necessary for everybody to have a plan in place today?
At this point, you will need to address the absolute chaos that results from not having a pre-need plan. When presented effectively, it will help your audience visualize just how much there is to consider during the stressful time immediately following a loved one's passing.
People are taken advantage of every day, and they are especially vulnerable when they are making purchases and decisions during an emotional time. So you want your loved ones to know that your final arrangements are already taken care of on the worst day of their lives. Let's just say you don't have a plan in place. We refer to this as the chaos plan. After you pass, your family may not know where your important documents are located and how to fulfill your exact wishes. They may argue over the details of your final arrangements, and more often than not, it's this lack of information that leads to chaos. And not having a pre-need plan will create conflict between the kids or loved ones that may sever relationships for a lifetime. This is not the legacy you want to leave.
This part of the presentation is also meant to demonstrate that an unavoidable life event such as this will run a lot smoother and be a lot easier to digest if they have a pre-need plan in place when the time comes.
I trust you can all see how difficult these decisions can be for a grieving family, right?
This slide builds on the power statement and chaos slides. It also addresses the more rational or logical individual that hasn't yet bought into the need for a pre-need plan. It provides them with one more opportunity while their emotions are high, to isolate, validate, and tie down the previous slides.
By a show of hands, who drove here today? Did you know the chances of you having an accident on the way to this very seminar was 10,000 to 1?
Wow, those are some high odds.
That's right, Mr. Smith. And did you buckle your seatbelt?
Well, yeah, of course I did. Not only because it keeps me safe, but it's the law. And Mrs. Smith here, she makes me.
You see, that's just it. The irony is we prepare ourselves for something that might happen, but we don't necessarily plan for something that will happen. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Ben Franklin said it best. In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. So again, now do we all see the need for a pre-need plan? Rest assured, our plan provides certainty in an uncertain world.
This slide will aid you in covering 3 important topics with your audience. For you, asking these questions isolates why each participant chose to attend your seminar. Pay close attention, because this will not only help you tailor your message during the follow-up visit, but also identify who in the audience to engage with the most. For example, it is crucial to know upfront who in the audience has chosen cremation as their final disposition. But be prepared, there will likely be 1 or 2 people in the audience who are still undecided.
Today I'm going to give you all of the information you need to make a wise choice, because at the end of the day, it is yours to make. I have a few quick questions for all of you. First, by a show of hands, who has decided that when the day comes, they will be cremated? Great. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I noticed you didn't raise your hands. Do you mind me asking what it is you would like to take away from today's seminar?
I really don't know if I want to be cremated. And I believe Mark feels the same way.
We just want more information.
Mrs. Jones, that is totally understandable. And I promise, I personally will give you 100% of the information you need to make an intelligent and informed decision. Now, are there any veterans here today?
I'm a veteran.
Thank you so much for your service. Our company has been working with veterans for over 40 years, so we understand there are many questions specific to your benefits. And some vets assume their final arrangements are paid for. The fact is, if you're a retired veteran, everything is not paid for. Tell you what, write veteran on the top of your evaluation sheet, and I will be sure to cover your exact benefits with you one-on-one. And finally, who here has a will? Keep your hands up if cremation is mentioned in your will. That's a great start, but please understand a will is for your possessions, not your desires regarding final arrangements. If you wish to be cremated, the only document that will ensure your wishes are carried out and paid for in advance is a pre-need agreement. Thank you, everybody. Knowing this allows me to have a better understanding of your exact needs and wishes, which I will certainly address during our follow-up visit.
The purpose of this slide is to set the stage for personal responsibility and emphasize the positive side of planning ahead. You will want to strategically shift the audience from imagining the chaos that occurs from not having a pre-need plan to visualizing the personal empowerment a pre-need plan will bring. And as you'll see, this slide will also help to eliminate the "I need to talk to my kids first" rationale when scheduling their follow-up visit.
Now, more often than not, this ends up being a decision you need to make. And naturally, you'll want to talk this over with your loved ones before making a final decision. But from our 40-plus years of experience, when this conversation does take place, it tends to be extremely challenging, uncomfortable, and terribly clumsy. When it comes right down to it, this decision is yours. You must take the lead. I don't know your family, of course, but in our 40-plus years of serving communities like yours, we found that in almost every case, because this is personal choice and such a delicate subject, the typical reaction from your loved ones will be, "You don't need to worry about it, I'll handle it," or "Let's not talk about it," Relax, we know exactly what you want. Now, don't these replies seem likely to you?
Yep, they really do. Bill and I told our son we were going to this seminar today, and that was his exact reaction.
The purpose of this slide is to help your audience visualize the conversation with their loved ones prior to finalizing their pre-need plan. During this time, involve your audience and expose the challenges of this scenario, and that the more loving and responsible approach is to share their decision with their loved ones after they have purchased their plan.
Of course he did, and this type of reaction makes sense. Your family loves you, so this is the last thing they want to think about, let alone talk about. The fact is, no child or loved one, regardless of their age or the health of your relationship, is emotionally equipped to talk about your passing. It's true now, doubly true as the time draws closer. And by the way, if you're like 99% of the people in the world, you don't really want to talk about it either. That's exactly why a Time magazine article dedicated to this topic said, and nobody wants to talk about it, but parents need to be parents one last time. It ensures the greatest legacy of all, family members who remain friends after you're gone. Ladies and gentlemen, we provide a pre-need cremation plan. But you know what? It's more than that. It might just be the last thing you do as a loving mom or dad.
Now, you will want to transition yourself from demonstrating the emotional well-being a pre-need plan provides to the financial benefit it offers. Remember, you are the expert, so make sure to adjust your tone and posture because you are about to deliver logical facts and features which, if you remember, are meant to justify the decisions people have already made using their emotions.
It's true. This is a gift for your loved ones. But it's important to know that when you make this decision, you also protect your finances today and the personal assets you hope to pass on later. Simply put, by purchasing your plan now, your loved ones will never have to pay more for a similar plan later. There is no doubt about it. Final arrangements are expensive. So doesn't it make better sense to buy a plan at today's prices? As you weigh your options, it's important to know that cremation is now the most popular choice for final arrangements. For starters, traditional funeral and burial is becoming increasingly expensive, creating even more skepticism around the arrangement and burial process. Also, families are more spread out nowadays, which means they might not even live near their loved one's gravesite. So what's the point in having one, right? It also goes without saying, many religions have become more lenient in their stance on final arrangements. So, let's take a look at this arrow on the screen. According to the most recent statistics report provided by CANA, an unbiased research company for the funeral industry, the cremation rate was about 25% 20 years ago. By 2014, the rate had nearly doubled to 47%. And today, only 2 years later, the cremation rate is over 50%. That means 1 in 2 people choose cremation.
It is important to emphasize that the figures on the screen are nationwide averages. Therefore, when applicable, be prepared to provide your audience with a compelling comparison using local rates and figures to strengthen your message. For example, you can say something like,
And here in Florida, the cremation rate is just over 70%, which is the majority. Now, if you all don't mind, let's talk dollars real quick. Does anybody have an idea of what a traditional funeral can cost today? If so, write down your guess on a piece of paper.
Chances are your audience will come to the seminar armed with information, which means some of the participants will have an idea or opinion about how much a traditional funeral costs. Acknowledge their responses, but remember, your goal is to show them just how high the price can climb once you take into account other unavoidable yet necessary services and merchandise. Finally, it is crucial that you paint a vivid picture of what a cheap plan may not include, especially in your local area.
Very good guesses. As you can imagine, funeral costs have skyrocketed over the years and continue to do so. And because of inflation and other unavoidable variables, prices tend to double every 7 to 10 years. That's not very much time. Not to mention, the prices you see or hear advertised may not be as inclusive as you think. They may not include a cemetery plot and most certainly any memorial services you wish to have. Research shows that today a funeral service ranges from $7,000 to $9,000, and that's on the low end. And if you choose a traditional funeral that requires burial, you or your loved ones will have no choice but to purchase a cemetery plot. So add anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 on top of that. Now you are talking somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 just for one person. So if you are pre-arranging with a spouse, plan on doubling that cost, $30,000, a price that easily exceeds that of a new car. Now, how about the average cost of a cremation? Does anybody have any idea?
Again, go around the room and acknowledge their guesses on price, even if they are quite low. You will have the opportunity to debunk these lowball prices with industry facts and local knowledge of the competitive market.
As you can imagine, cremation provides a significant savings over burial. And in some areas of the country, it's upwards of 75% less. And to give this fact some legs, we look to a reliable third party, the National Funeral Directors Association, for cost comparison. NFDA says that as of 2015, the national average for cremation is $3,725. But if you dig a little deeper, you will notice this cost does not include necessary expenses such as death certificates, transportation of the remains, memorialization options, required merchandise, and even travel and relocation protection. And the same goes for other prices you've seen advertised or have been quoted. Chances are the price is not the full cost of cremation. It might just be the cremation itself. Rest assured, our price includes 100% of the cost with no extra surprises. Doesn't that sound like the kind of plan you'll want to consider? And if you compare apples to apples, no company has the same value as us, which I will explain in just a minute. It's obvious you're saving by choosing cremation. However, just like everything else, costs keep going up every year, which is why one of the most valuable benefits of our pre-need plan is that you can lock in today's price. Allow me to paint the picture for you. If you purchased one of our plans in 1974, it would have cost you $275. Not to mention, you'd be the smartest person in the room. Now, who remembers the average cost of cremation?
Wasn't it $3,725?
Yes, that's correct. And we also just learned that prices can double every 7 to 10 years, right? So what this tells us is if you live for another 15 to 20 years, which is reasonable for this group, by the time you'll need cremation services, it could cost your loved ones nearly $15,000. And while our price is much lower than today's national average, which we will discuss in a moment, you get the point. Either you pay the lesser amount today or your loved ones will pay more later. So when do you think is the best time to buy? And when do you think is the absolute worst time to buy?
At this point of your presentation, you will want to transition the audience from cremation facts and figures to the features and benefits of our pre-need plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, our services have been used and trusted for over 40 years. So we're confident they anticipate every need and all of the likely variables. By planning now, the arrangements will be made, every detail has been addressed, and the burdens will be lifted from your loved ones. You see, what our past and current members appreciate most is the fact that we take care of every detail. When their loved ones needed us, everything happened exactly as they planned. And you can have the same assurance because our package was designed with a tremendous amount of forethought and care. So now I will quickly touch on some of our package features. First, we provide transportation and relocation protection. No matter where you are, we are ready to respond. This is key because none of us knows when we'll pass and where we'll be, right? So with this protection, you don't have to worry because should you move, your plan goes with you. Or if you happen to be traveling near or far, even out of the country, we immediately respond and take care of everything. Most importantly, your loved ones are protected too. There's no danger they'll incur unexpected cost or be responsible for making expensive, complex arrangements from afar. Secondly, our child and grandchild program provides you and your loved ones with a source of extra comfort. Though it's part of our program we hope you never need. If an unmarried child or grandchild of yours under the age of 21 should precede you, we'll provide this exact service for them at absolutely no cost. As you can see, this is one more tool we provide that will empower you to relieve your family of an overwhelming burden. Traditionally, when a loved one passes away, you will submit an often costly obituary to the local newspaper. However, we've made it possible for you to use technology to celebrate and share life stories through a website called Making Everlasting Memories. It's as simple as logging on to your personalized website, which will be available to family and friends anytime, anywhere. On your personal page, you can share a photo, create a biography, and even leave a loving voice recording. The fact is, over time, our memories fade, even the ones we hold most dear. That's why so many families are grateful we also include in your plan a beautiful memento chest. The chest is something so simple, yet it becomes a tender way to preserve fond memories and treasured keepsakes. At the time of need, it's also very practical. The contents inside the memento chest, such as the planning guide and a cherry wood urn, protect your loved ones from making hurried decisions.
Here, you will want to emphasize the sheer value of the planning guide and how it ensures clarity and peace of mind. And the best way to support this message is to wrap it with a compelling story. For guaranteed audience acceptance, utilize the Philadelphia story, as told by many of your peers.
Without a doubt, this will leave your loved ones far less vulnerable to upselling on unnecessary funeral or burial merchandise. Taking time to plan and record your final wishes in advance will help you and your family gain comfort and peace of mind. Ask yourselves, what is providing certainty and gaining peace of mind actually worth to you? Folks, wouldn't you love to be able to say to your kids or to your loved ones, listen, if anything ever happened to me, go get my memento chest, grab the planning guide, read the letter, and please just do what it says to do. The letter can go a little something like this. To my dearest family, if you are reading this, then it means that I am no longer with you on this earth. It is my wish that you be spared from the difficult decisions surrounding my passing. In this guide, I've recorded vital information that I think you will find useful in the tasks that lie ahead. I hope you will find these arrangements comforting and they will help you to focus on celebrating my life. I have done this because I love you, and I will be with you always. My question to you is, which parent would you rather be? The one who passed away without leaving any guidance for their loved ones, or the one who wrote this loving letter? It's true, one call really does start it all. Our company aims to provide simplicity and peace of mind, which is why we provide you with a personalized membership card, unique only to you. As a matter of fact, I have my own membership card that I'd like to show you.
This is the perfect time for you to pull out your own membership card and then show it to your audience members.
Now, at the time of need, all your loved ones will have to do is call the number on this card. We're here for them 24 hours a day, every day. And the second we receive your loved one's first call, our experienced and caring professionals begin to help your loved ones. They will answer your questions about what to do and then facilitate the rest, leaving your family members free to grieve. As a matter of fact, here are the 5 main steps we take at the time of need.
Make sure to clearly articulate these 5 main steps. Should your audience have additional questions, let them know you are happy to discuss those with them during their follow-up visit.
Don't you think your family would appreciate professional guidance at a time like this?
You're about to talk dollars, so the only thing left for your audience to consider is, will this company do the right thing by me and my loved ones?
So when you consider this sort of purchase, folks, it's important you work with a company you can trust. You want to do business with an organization that has a track record and has proven itself over the long haul, which is why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We've been in business for over 40 years, and we are the nation's largest provider of pre-need cremation services. Just as important, your funds are protected and guaranteed by a state-regulated trust fund. Over the past 40+ years, our experienced team of professionals has assisted countless families and their loved ones by providing dignity, respect, and affordability. That's how final wishes are supposed to be honored. And thanks to the loyal support of generations of families, we've now grown to over 500,000 members and 80 service locations in 22 states. Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel confident National Cremation Society is a company you can trust? Our plan is designed to provide you with complete satisfaction. If for any reason you're not 100% satisfied, we'll make it right. That's just how we do business. Should you decide you're not happy with your pre-need plan, we're happy to issue a full refund within 30 days of the purchase date. How does that sound? Pretty reasonable, right? So other than price, is there any reason not to schedule a personalized visit with me today?
This slide sets up the value of what we offer. If the paid-in-full price does not seem favorable to one of your participants, release their worries by mentioning our easy and flexible payment options. This will demonstrate that you and our company are here to help.
Ladies and gentlemen, my goal today was to help all of you arrive at a sensible and workable approach. Our plan is accessible, affordable, and most of all, it's easy to enroll. Our price is just $2,475, which is much lower than the national average, mind you. And our price is inclusive, no surprises. Plus, you can choose to pay in full, or you can certainly take advantage of our easy and flexible payment options, which we will discuss during your personalized follow-up visit.
It's important to understand that some participants have a tendency to avoid scheduling a follow-up visit. You can overcome this scenario by offering a valuable incentive to schedule now, not later. Express a bit of urgency with a firm, confident tone.
Well, folks, we've made it to the end, but first, here's what we know. 24 hours from now, you'll remember half of what I've told you today. 24 hours from then, you will remember just 1/4. And so on and so on. Can you see how it might be difficult to make an educated choice if you wait? Oh, yeah. It's human nature to procrastinate. So let us help you realize your goals. Today, when you schedule a time to visit with us in the next 72 hours, our company will lighten your financial burden even further by offering you a $200 discount, bringing the price down to just $2,275. I must say, I'm really excited to have the opportunity to offer this limited time only coupon to all of you because it isn't something we always do. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you and congratulate you for joining me today. You've already made the first important step of gathering pertinent information. The second step, of course, is to sit down with me to discuss your individual needs. So, got my calendar. Who's ready?